Hi, I'm NASA astronaut Michael Barrett, and you're watching Mission X, Ask an Astronaut. And today's topic is what's outside. One of the most exciting things for an astronaut is being able to look outside into space, look at the Earth and look at the stars. And a lot of you asked some great questions there. One of our friends, Jordan from Team Eaglets, asked if we had powerful telescopes on the International Space Station. Well, the answer is yes, we do, but they're not ones that the astronauts can actually look in. We have astronomical telescopes hanging outside that people can control from the ground and get really important views of the stars that help them figure out questions of astronomy. We have other telescopes that look at the atmosphere, look at the Earth, and help us figure out what's going on, what's changing with the atmosphere, and other things that we need to know about it to help us understand how to live on Earth better. From our standpoint as an astronaut, though, we have binoculars and we have high magnification cameras and lenses. And for us, those are one of the most fun things to use because we get to look at the ground and look at places that are familiar or wonderful or just particularly beautiful to look at. So our friend Georgia in Italy asked us, what do we see from up there? And I will tell you that the most amazing thing to see in space is our home planet. When you look at the blackness of space and this beautiful blue round planet just hanging out there in there, it just takes your breath away. And when you really look at it as a whole planet, it's very, very beautiful. It's ocean, it's clouds, white swirling clouds, and the browns and the greens of the Earth. But then when you look a lot closer, it becomes even more interesting. So when we're looking either with the naked eye or with our binoculars, we can see volcanoes, we can see rivers, we can see floods, we can see big storms and tornadoes. And seeing them from above is really one of the most amazing things that you could possibly imagine. But then when we look with binoculars, we can even see our hometowns. We can see airports and runways and highways and cities and villages. And you can see so much from up there, but you have to be quick because you're flying over it at 17,500 miles an hour and you cover a lot of ground quick. Remember that we go around the Earth every 90 minutes, but you can never get tired of looking at the Earth go by below you. So the most amazing thing to see is the Earth. So our friend Lorenzo from Italy asked what the view of the stars is like from space and how might that change from what we see from the Earth. Well, the biggest thing is that there's no atmosphere to look through. So when you look at the stars with the naked eye up there, you see the most incredible bright stars that you could possibly imagine. You can actually see little tints of color in the Milky Way, and you can see the planets and the moon incredibly bright up there. But I will tell you that a lot of our time in space is spent exposed to the sun. So when you're on the bright side of the Earth, you don't see any stars whatsoever because they're totally washed out by the sunlight. You essentially see the Earth and just the blackest black you could imagine. Once you get on the unlit side for part of your orbit, and then you have to let your eyes adjust and you turn off all the lights in whatever cabin you're in and you look out the window and you put your face right up there. That's when you see the most amazing views of the stars that you can imagine. One of the most wonderful things I ever saw was meteorites. And when you look at the Earth, when you're on the backlit side, so it's the dark side of the Earth, you see meteorites streak below you because they're hitting the atmosphere and you're above the atmosphere, and that's wonderful. And then of course you see city lights and lightning on the ground as well. So looking at the dark sky is one of the most amazing things you can do from space. So our friend Anna from Italy asked if I ever had the chance to go outside while I was in space. And yes, I have. I've been able to do 2 spacewalks, and I was very, very lucky to do that. And I went out in a Russian spacesuit with my Russian commander, Gennady Padalka, and he had done 6 spacewalks before, and I was doing my first one, and then of course my second with him. So he was a veteran, and I was brand new at it. And the first impression I had was what everybody told me, that when you first open the door of your spaceship, you open the hatch, and you float outside, and you look at the Earth below you, and you look at the sky beyond that, it just takes your breath away. It's a very amazing feeling, kind of a mix of joy and anticipation, and you're hoping you're going to do a good job, and a little bit of terror, and all that rolled into one big moment as you first look out on your first spacewalk. So it's an amazing thing. Gennady and I were able to put some cables and antennas in place to get ready for some new Russian modules coming to the space space station and bring in some experiments. And one of the funnest things I did was get at the very end of a long crane on the Russian segment and take pictures up there. And I got to take a look at the whole space station from sitting atop this really long boom up there. So I could see the whole space station, and I could see us screaming over the ground at 17,500 miles an hour, going past oceans and continents, and boy, it almost makes you feel like Superman. But I'll tell you, you really work hard and you really want to do a good job, and when you do come in from your spacewalk, you're tired and you're really, really happy. Hello, I'm NASA astronaut Michael Barrett, and if you'd like to ask a question of an astronaut, go to the Mission X website and look for the Ask the Astronaut feature, and we look forward to your questions.